This one, it's not one of the worst movies ever made, in my opinion, but it is heavily flawed. But I can still watch it despite its extreme amount of problems. Mortal Kombat Annihilation is the sequel to Mortal Kombat, based on the video game series of the same name by Midway Games. This is largely an adaptation of Mortal Kombat 3, and it picks up where the last film left off, but only 2 of the lead actors, well, technically 3, if you count the one who plays Sub-Zero in the first film, comes back. But the plot of Mortal Kombat Annihilation is that in every generation a portal opens up between the outer world and Earth, and Emperor Shou Kahn, ruler of the mythical outworld, pounces that the moment the portal reopens and slips through with his mighty warriors, intent on total domination and uniting the 2 worlds and merging them into one. However, he only has 7 days to complete his task, with the help of his father, of course, who is Shinnok. And is up to the warriors from the last film, including 2 new ones. In the meantime, opposition grows, and the warriors from our last film, Sonya Blade, Jax, Kitana, and Liu Kang, which Jax wasn't in the film. And yes, of course, Johnny Cage is in here, but only at the beginning of this movie, and which I will also get to. And they decide to get ready for war. However, Kitana gets captured while she's with Liu Kang, and Liu Kang has to get Kitana back, while also Sonya Blade and Jax has to find a Raiden, and Raiden has to do his little situation with his powers not being able to use them as the 2 worlds merge. And also, Kitana is determined to bring her mother's soul at peace. That's basically the really complicated plot of this movie. Pretty much. Now, as I said in the intro, this is not the worst film of all time. I can see why this movie has 3% on Rotten Tomatoes and 11 out of 100 on Metacritic, and I can see why this does have a low rating on IMDb, but Mortal Kombat Annihilation is not that bad of a movie, but it's not a great film. There are definitely a lot of problems with this film, and the first problem is that all of the characters except for Kitana, Liu Kang, and the guy who played Reptile in the first film, playing Sub-Zero, they're the only 3 to return, but the rest of the cast is completely recasted. And when I say recasted, I mean Sonya Blade, Raiden, and Shou Kahn. No, not Shao Kahn. Raiden, Sonya Blade, and Johnny Cage. They were played in the first film by Lyndon Ashby, Bridget Wilson, and Christopher Lambert. And now they're taken over by Chris Conrad, Sandra Hess, and James Remar. And I'm going to get into those three. Johnny Cage, I wish he was in this movie more. And I don't really... The actor who plays him, Chris Conrad, it's not that he gives a bad performance, but it's just not a very... he's not as great, as good as Lyndon Ashby. In fact, he's just stale. James Remar could have been better, but he's not too bad. But at the same time, you just got Christopher Lambert back, because this is James Remar. The way he plays Raiden is pretty solid for the most part, but it doesn't have the lasting impression that Christopher Lambert did. And Sonya Blade. Sandra Hess as Sonya Blade is not a bad performance from her either. Again, I can understand if it was contract reasons or something, but you could have at least tried to get Bridget Wilson back. Because there are moments where Sandra Hess playing Sonya Blade, she does fine, and there are moments where she's very wooden. Also, the story, while I do give it credit for following Mortal Kombat 3, I just feel like there are some things that are removed, were cut. There were plot elements from Mortal Kombat 4, but those scenes were cut from the final film, and you should have left those in, because some of that would have helped the film's plot and some of the crucialness into the story. Also, another problem here is the writing. The writing is almost little to non-existent. There are some very weird choices that they decide to go with the writing, and some of the writing is just very, very stale, wooden, dry. And there are some overly dumb, over the top moments and what the H moments. You have this one scene where it's like the Zendel, she's spinning around, and then she has this weird over the top screen like, ah! I'm like, those are moments where I have to laugh, because I'm like, what? Huh? Then you have Shinnok, who I did not like this character Shinnok at all. He's the dad of both Shao Kahn. He's the dad of Shao Kahn and Raiden, and this actor was just very over the top. And the effects, most of the effects here are pretty bad. You have a budget of $30 million, and most of the effects looks like half of the dated effects in episodes 1, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, which wouldn't be out later until 1999, and some of the weird effects in Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. Combine, you take that and you get and you get effects from Fan Force even before that movie came out. Because you have this one character named Shiva, and she has these 4 hands. I'm like, okay, that effect looks somewhat decent, but it's like still not very best looking. And the way Motaro looks, the actor's fine as Motaro, but the way he looks is just so bad. Now, some of the effects in here, there are times where some of the effects does look decent. The idea of the 2 worlds merging with each other, I like some of those effects. I thought they did decent with that. And aside from Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, and Raiden and being recast, and me not liking Chinook and over-the-top moments, Musetta Vander plays Zendel, and it's not really her fault. I do have to blame the script, because the script is not the best written. But she is pretty over the top when she's giving most of her lines and when she's screaming. I'm like, you're supposed to be Kasanoff's mother and is evil. Why are you so over the top? But then again, that's why I blame the script. Aside from those problems, I will give this movie credit to where credit is due. The fight scenes, they do look pretty good. The fight scenes are well rehearsed, well shot. Some of the production design, when it looks good, some of the locations looks pretty good. Some fight scenes are pretty mindless and pretty fun. You do have the soundtrack. It's still rock oriented. The soundtrack is pretty entertaining for the most part. I like the music in the film. You have this one girl who kind of looks like Katana, but is really not, because she's wearing pink, the pink shirt and the black leather pants. So it kind of makes you think it's Katana, but it's really not, even though she has a mask on her face. I thought when she says "you wish," I thought that was kind of funny. And she has the 2 sides. If you've seen him, Jax, I thought he was pretty cool. I liked his little things where he has these mechanical things on, and it allows him to fight, but then he gets rid of them at the end and actually takes down Motaro. I do like his character. He has some cheesy one-liners, and that's another problem. Some of the dialogue is very cheesy and corny. But like I said, this movie is not the best written. I don't mind Irina, Pantaeva. I don't mind the character of Jade, because they were originally going to have Jade in the first film fighting Sonya Blade, but they had to cut that out for budgetary reasons. But that would have been cool to see in the first film. And I don't mind Robin Shou and Talisa Soto as Liu Kang and Katana, because they do fine with what they have to work with here. And also, the direction is not very competent and very well executed. I feel like you could get someone else to direct this film, because the cinematography from the first film, John Leoneti, his direction here is just almost little to non-existent. And they were going to do a third film, but because this movie didn't get the get the buzz that it was going to, or because the movie didn't do so well at the box office, they decided to do a little web series called Mortal Kombat Legacy, and they decided to reboot the film. So if you when the reboot comes out, I'm curious about the reboot. Hopefully it's more like the games, but there is Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It's a guilty pleasure that I can watch and enjoy and have mindless fun with if I can turn my brain off. But in comparison to the first film, it is a letdown. The recasting choices does hurt the film. There are some over-the-top, what-the-heck moments, and there is some over-the-top acting and some not very good performances from most of the cast. But other than that, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I'm going to give this a middle badly. Let me know what you guys think about Mortal Kombat Annihilation down below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? And I'll see you guys in the next review here on the Future Filmic 3940 channel. You guys keep it cool as always, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.